Yeah? You have a question? Okay.
I cannot understand that the difference or exact definition of perception, cognition, inference, and affection. I mean, vijnana, mano, chitta.
Huh?
The difference between these terms. What is
Difference between perception
and conception, cognition, affection, and inference.
Yeah. Well, partly you have to learn a little more English, that's all. These are English words that have different meanings. Perception means using your senses. Seeing is perception. Hearing is perception. When you see something, what do you see? Huh? Can you tell me, when you see something, what is it that you see?
An object or reflection.
Huh?
Reflected picture of an object.
Now you just said, reflected picture of an object. That's what you said.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Now you have two words here, picture and object. But are you seeing an object or are you seeing a picture?
Maybe picture.
Huh?
Maybe picture.
What?
Maybe picture. Use the microphone.
Picture, huh? That's right. So what you see with your eye is only a picture. That seeing the picture is perception. You understand? But how do you know that it is an object? If you saw only a picture, then how do you get into this idea of object?
By inference.
Huh?
By inference.
How?
Is recorded. By inference.
There you are. You are using the word inference.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of the word inference?
Inference means based on the reflection of fixture, I am defining that and identifying or
That is what you call thinking.
Yeah, thinking.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to think and reason out to find out whether it is an object. That means more than just seeing the picture, you are also doing some thinking. Can you do the thinking with the eye?
No.
So the thinking is done with the mind.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, Bhante.
That thinking part is what is called conception. So there is perception with the eye, that is seeing a picture, and then the thinking is the conception. And once you have been doing both the thinking and the seeing, you come to the conclusion there is an object. That is what is called cognition.
Cognition.
You understand?
Yes.
Cognition means you have seen an object. That means you have created an object there by your thinking. You understand?
Yes, Bhante.
So, but what is an object?
Object.
Why do you say it is an object?
It's an conclusion based on perception and then conception.
Yes, but why do you call it an object?
I don't.
Huh?
I don't know.
Because it has a name.
An object is something that occupies space and time. An object, when you say this is an object, that object you can measure, this is the length of the object, this is the breadth of the object. You see, 3 dimensions, length, breadth and height. That means it has a volume. What is the meaning of volume? It is the amount of space that it occupies. Did you understand that?
Yes. Yes, Bhante.
Ah. But is it only occupying space?
Time also.
Ah, it occupies time. What does that mean?
Time and space.
It appears moving.
Huh?
It appears moving.
What?
It appears moving.
It is moving. No, if it is not moving, you say it is not moving, then is it occupying time? Now here, there is a thing here which you can measure as height and length, and you can say how much space it occupies. But is it occupying time?
Yes.
How is that?
Because there is. Because there is an invisible motion, motion of particles of the object.
No, particles is something else. Particle is still occupying space. Particle is something that occupies space. What is occupying time?
Decay. Impermanence or changing,
Huh?
changing or
It is
the object
here,
is not
this,
constant. and
this
it's
amount
changing.
of space that it is occupying, if I put it here, what happens?
Change this position.
It is not here anymore. That means it was here only certain, how many minutes or how many hours it was here. That is, it was occupying time here. to a certain period only. Now it is in a different place, and there also it is occupying time. Did you understand that? Huh? So everything that you say is an object, is occupying space and time. So when you perceive, you see, then when you conceive, you are thinking, and you are thinking it is occupying space and time. That is cognition. And cognition is not only that. You have also, you can say what it is. What is this?
Object.
Huh?
Object.
What?
Object.
Do you call this an object?
Content.
What? What do you call it?
Container, box.
You call it a container. How do you know that it is a container? How do you know? How do you know it is a container?
With predominant idea.
No, no, no. You have seen containers before. You have seen containers before, and so you are giving that same name to this container. So that means you have a memory. You have a memory. You remember seeing something like that before. So you have put it into a class of objects. The name container is the name of a class of objects. That is called categorizing. It is a category of objects. And if you see an animal like a dog, so you can look at that and say, this is a dog. How do you know? Because you have seen dogs before. And you are categorizing that object and calling it a dog. You understood? That when you say cognition, you are doing all those things and identifying the object and say, this is such and such an object. Did you understand that? So that is the meaning of cognition. In the cognition, you have what is called recognition. You recognize, you call it, you recognize. Recognize means recognition. That is, you put it into a class, a category. Now you see the difference between perception, conception, and cognition.